Hey guys, what's going on? RuthlessRain here with another video. Today we're going to open up some PSA cases. We have one of the newer PSA cases here and one of the older PSA cases here. In my opinion, there is a few times when it's actually worth opening a PSA case, and I'll explain that as I go throughout the video. So first of all, the equipment you need to do this is you need a flathead screwdriver. It has to be a flathead. It'll pry open the case once we make a crack in it. And you need one of these. I'm not sure what the technical term is for this, but it's basically like a clamp and it's a grip. So it's quite interesting actually. I've submitted about 80 PSA cards now, and I'm not a massive fan of cracking open cases, but I took a really good look at my collection, and I decided these two cards, I think they're quite strong 9s. They both happen to be first edition fossil hollows, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to crack these cases open and give it a go, going for a regrade. So I'll be sending these cards into PSA ungraded. I won't be asking them to do a reassessment. And it's quite interesting because I've got a new and an older case. It's quite different. They kind of open quite differently. The newer cases are quite strong, and when you crack it, it kind of just cracks in the area, and then you can kind of pry it open. With the older cases, they kind of shatter a bit, and they just make it just go everywhere, and then you kind of just have to kind of work through it. It'll be interesting to see how it goes on camera. But yeah, just take a quick look at these cards before we start the process. You can see they're really beautiful cards. Look, maybe they will come back as 9s, and if that's the case, that's the case. But in particular, very clean. No massive issues I can see. The centering's good. The backs are really nice and clean. And yeah, I thought it was worth giving a shot and opening these cases. So let's give it a shot. Let's go with the new case first. So what you want to do when you open a case is you want to make sure the card is protected. So this card is all obviously encapsulated in this case, and we're going to make a crack up here. By making the crack up here, it doesn't affect the card. The card's in its case, it's nice and straight, it won't be affected. So let's start off. We're going to, basically, it's really just a matter of just getting it and just cracking it. There's nothing about it, like, you kind of just bang. That's how you do it. You just got to go for it. There's no other way to do it. As you can see, I've made a crack in the case, but the card's fine because the crack's up here. Okay, a little bit of a crack went there, but it's not touching the card. The card is perfectly fine. So that is how you do it. And I send my PSA labels into back to PSA, and I recommend everyone else doing that. So I'll be sending that back in an envelope separately. And what you want to do now is, you see how we have a little bit of a slide here, this slit. We just kind of put our screwdriver in, kind of weave it in, and just now it's in, and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on it, and it's just coming up. So no, it didn't come up. These new cases are quite strong. There we go. It's quite strong actually. That's actually come off really well. So that's how I do it. If you were breaking up a new case, crack the top and just kind of pry it open. Card is completely fine, as you can see. The card is moving around because it's not in a case anymore, but it is not damaged. It has not been damaged in this process. It is fine. So I have my sleeve here. I'm going to very carefully just take the card, let it fall into my hand. We can have a good look at it while it's in a format like this. What do we think of this one? What a beautiful hollow. Just take a minute to enjoy it. That is amazing. Just a stunning hollow. And what do you think of the condition? It looks pretty nice. Is it a PSA 10? Look, we'll find out when we do a regrade. It definitely looks pretty clean to me. We'll put it in a sleeve. It'll be interesting. It could go either way. I'd say it's a strong 9, but, you know, we'll see what happens when we go to PSA. The card now is out of the sleeve, and it hasn't been damaged. It is ready for a regrade when the time comes. So that was the new case. Honestly, that went pretty well. So let's go through now the older case. This is a Zapdos first edition, one of the first cards I graded actually. I think it's actually in really good condition there, so I think it's worth a regrade. So same thing, we're going to come up the top here. As you can see, I've got at the top, got a good strong grip. You have to grip it strongly, otherwise it just doesn't work. Grip it too strongly. And there you go. Kind of just got to break it. I kind of close my eyes because I have seen some people open these and they have kind of, well, the glass is kind of shattered a bit. I don't think it's going to go into your eye and cause you damage, but it's just like a safety thing. You try to look after yourself. Hasn't really cracked enough here, you see? You see how it's just cracked a bit? I can't really do anything with that. Like, I can't get the screwdriver in, so I'm going to crack it again. Just a matter of holding it. It's pretty hard to do, actually. not having as much luck with this one. You can see though, I'm actually doing all sorts of force on this, and the card is completely fine. It's not being affected at all. I'm actually going to try the other end, just for something different. Let's go up here, and that's come off straight away, which is nice. That's better. That's what we wanted. So now we've actually got a proper kind of area. I'm making a huge mess here. Things going everywhere. But now we actually have an area where you can get in a screwdriver. So now I've just put it in. I'm just putting a tiny bit of pressure on, and it's open. So that is as easy as it gets. This one's fallen out a little bit different than the other one, but it's fine. The card's not being damaged. That's the other one to send into PSA. Yes, it's a little bit, you know, intense with the cracking and the things flying everywhere, but the card's not getting damaged. It's just the cases, like all this area up here is being damaged. The case down here is not being damaged. So just gonna let this fall into my hand. It's about as soft as I can get it. And let's have a look at this card. What do we think? Zapdos. Beautiful card just to start with. Look, it's really nice. I think it's probably a strong 9. Holo looks really quite gorgeous and clean. Trying to get some different lights in. And if you look at the back, it's very, very beautiful. Really quite okay. So I'm going to put this one in the sleeve. So thanks for tuning in. That's how we've opened the cases. Now I'm just going to briefly talk about why it's worth opening them in some cases. To put it in perspective, it kind of comes down to a few things. It comes down to the value of the cards and the fact that grading is subjective. So, you know, you can grade on one day and you'll get 9s, you grade on another day, you get 10s. I know it's hard because obviously PSA looks at and has criteria, centering and everything, and they should in theory be consistent, but in what I've found in practice is that some of the cards that are 9s could be 10s, some of the cards that are 10s, they kind of look like 9s, so it's just worth a shot. Sometimes, you know, once you get a bit comfortable with grading and knowing like what you think the condition of the cards is to give it a shot about regrading. These two in particular, let's just talk about this one for example, the Dragonite. I really love this card, and honestly, if it comes back a 9, I still love it. It's fantastic. I remember buying it, and it's just beautiful. To put it in perspective though, like this card in PSA 9, it's probably worth around, don't quote me, but $80 to $100, which is quite a reasonably priced card. In PSA 10 though, it's probably worth $400 to $450. So the difference in terms of value is literally hundreds of dollars, and for me to get this regraded will only cost me $8 because I'll do a bulk submission, and it's got a decent chance at the 10. And it's not like I'm just like, oh, how much money can I make in my collection from these returns? It's more so I do want a PSA 10, and if I can not have to fork out my money towards paying $450 towards this, I can use that money towards other things, you know, Pokemon or non-Pokemon related. So it's kind of like trying to be efficient with your collection. And if you think one of your cards or a couple of them have a really good potential, why not try regrading them? You know, it doesn't cost anything, well, apart from regrading, which is $8. But what you should do though, send in your labels back to PSA, and what they will actually do is adjust the population report. Gary from E4 will know all about that, but yes, they'll actually take these cards off the population report. I think it's important to do that. You know, it's kind of, you gotta, some people won't do it obviously, but I think it's the right thing to do. So the population report is as accurate as possible, because these cards will not be, you know, in existence now. They'll be taken off. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think these two cards here are potential 10s? They look very nice. Have you done this yourself before? It'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, I'll share the results with you when the new submission goes out. Big Pokemon Mail episode coming up probably next week, so keep an eye out for it. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was to see me kind of open the case. It's a bit different. The case is just, you can see, like, they literally just, like, it just goes into a mess, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take it easy. Hope everyone's enjoying their week, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.